$100 million in jury verdicts and settlements for serious injury victims, medical malpractice victims, and surviving family members of wrongful death victims. Trial Lawyers for Justice. This is a firm that does not handle frivolous lawsuits. They go after insurance company money, and they're darn good at it. They don't sell their clients out or settle cheaply. Trial Lawyers for Justice, the firm that goes the distance for you, their client. They treat their clients the way you would want your own family members taken care of. Nicholas Rowley, Dominic Pachota, and the other trial lawyers in the firm at Trial Lawyers for Justice, dedicated to representing the people and their families in Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Illinois, California, Wyoming, and many other states. Trial Lawyers for Justice. $100 million in settlements and jury verdicts already in 2016. 888-811-0844. Trial Lawyers for Justice.
Rick Horrow, sports professor, Facebook, on a number of different global contexts. We're reaching everywhere people play golf and even places they don't. Golf business in the United States is a $62 billion industry, even more. We have some of the leaders in golf and saxophonic entertainment and other things here today, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about the Honda Classic, the Florida Swing, Tiger Woods, and a whole host of other issues. Arnold Palmer, Bay Hill, inevitably talks about Donald Trump, and a whole bunch of other issues as well. And we're starting with the executive director of the Honda Classic, but the guy's been in the business, it claims, Bio, for 27 years. Frankly, you've been in the business, as far as I'm concerned, for 127 years. Kenneth R. Kennerly, the executive director of the Honda Classic. How's that for an intro?
Marvelous. Thank you, pal. 127 years, I was not right.
And now, our relationship transcends. It makes it feel like 127 years. So first of all, give us the elevator speech of kind of the history of the Honda Classic. I remember in 1977 watching Johnny Miller play at the Jackie Gleason at Inverary, and it's a long, storied history at Honda. But how did it get here, and how did you make it so successful?
Well, your point exactly right away. I mean, people forget that it was the Jackie Gleason Inverary Classic. That's really where the origin of the Honda Classic came. And, 36 years ago, Honda signed on to be the title sponsor. So today, they are the longest-running title sponsor on the PGA Tour at 36 years. And we renewed last year for 5 more, so we're going to go to year 40, which is pretty great. We took over the event 11 years ago now. We moved it to PGA National. We finally have a home. The Honda was always very nomadic, moved around South Florida. The PGA Tour and Honda wanted to make a change, and, I was fortunate that they were able to, bring me into the deal, and we've transformed the Honda, brought it to PGA National. Our player fields continued to grow, and this is year 11 right now at PGA.
And frankly, there is more stability. If you knew a few years ago that you would reach a 200,000 attendance and $52 million economic impact last year, but that's still not enough, you'd be saying, I'm really happy, but I want to build on the future. So, kudos to you, obviously, but how do you build on this?
Well, every year we try to improve. 202,000 people last year was up from 40,000, the first Honda Classic that we took over.
Want to stay in touch with your favorite Sports Byline USA network hosts? Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Sports Byline USA. You can also see the latest news in the world of sports, learn about upcoming contests and giveaways, plus catch up on guest info so you never miss a moment with the biggest names in every sport. Football, basketball, baseball, MMA, and more. No matter where you are in the U.S. or around the world, you can stay connected to the host and fans who love what you love. So check us out on Facebook and Twitter at Sports Byline USA.
I'm Eric Newton with your Match.com Together Minute. Everyone will tell you that in order for your relationship to succeed, you've got to communicate. But what does that actually mean? Well, one basic element of communication is that you must be able to share anything that's fundamental to your identity without fear of being shamed. It seems simple, but it's not. Too often we hide our core truths for fear of rejection, or worse, we ridicule those in our lives because their dreams seem somehow dangerous to us. But we all know that the truth will get out eventually. Hiding from that truth just causes pain. And if we can't love those in our lives for the truth, then what are we doing with them in the first place? aside. What are you really afraid of? The truth never changes. It's your interpretation that causes suffering. I'm Eric Newton with your Match.com Together Minute. To learn about our podcast, visit our website at together.show. 1 in 3 relationships start online, and more start on Match than any other dating site. So if you're single and looking to meet people, you've got to get on Match. They're not only number 1 in first dates, but in second dates too. Meeting your match has never been easier. Just go to Match.com/together, and for a limited time, you can try Match for 7 days free. That's 7 days completely free to search and connect with thousands on Match. So go ahead. Create your account now at Match.com/together. That's Match.com/together.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We return to our on-the-ground coverage of the Honda Classic and Rick's one-on-one conversation with Executive Director Ken Kennerly.
We took over, and we've done it, Rick, with a lot of energy. We've created some excitement in the community. We're really in the entertainment business out here, and as much as golf and the PGA Tour is the most powerful organization certainly on the planet from a golf standpoint, it's something that to resonate in this community you have to market more than golf, and we've been able to do that. We've been able to do it with partners like Kenny G. We've been able to do it with partners like Gosling's and of course United Technologies and Tire Kingdom, so on and so forth, and really create more of an entertainment aspect out here.
Kenny, isn't that saxophone guy, Kenny G?
He is, and he's a great partner of the Honda Classic. He's a great player of golf, which we'll talk about a little bit.
And we're going to tease it. By the way, he was a 1 handicap, and now he's a 5 handicap, but he's not going to give us golf lessons. He may give us saxophone lessons, but we'll deal with that after Ken. So we'll try to move this interview along, because I know we got the next guy coming up. Clearly, the Inverary Classic and the tournament in Mirasol, this was a struggle to find a permanent home, right? I mean, for a long time, and stability very important to the tour.
Well, it was, and I think part of that equation, if you remember, the TPC model was a big one for the PGA Tour. These are courses that are owned and managed by the tour. So when Eagle Trace was built, they didn't charge any rent, so that's attractive from a charitable standpoint. And then when Heron Bay was built, they moved over to Heron Bay as well. And, yeah, and then we were up here at Mirasol for 4 years, and then we moved it over here at PGA National. And I can just tell you that at the end of the day, the best players in the world want to play the best golf courses, and if we don't have a great golf course, they're not coming.
Well, listen, everybody talks about Tiger moving the needle. Everybody says Tiger's not relevant, but every third column inch now is about Tiger's comeback, his long flight to Dubai, Tiger's non-comeback. You promoted Tiger early, but I think you were in a position of promoting the event more than just Tiger. So when Tiger pulled out 13 days before the start of the event, you weren't as hurt as other people might say you might have been. Right.
I mean, Tiger, to your point, Tiger is really the only one that moves the needle. I mean, you'll hear that from Tommy Roy. You'll hear it from Lance Barrow at CBS. He brings that peripheral fan, and it's that fan that really takes us up several notches. Now, when he played us for the first time in 2012, our field, our spectator field, really jumped. And I think what we've been able to do is we've created so much energy and fun out here that we haven't seen our gallery go backwards, even without Tiger Woods. We haven't had Tiger Woods since 2014, and I think it's a testament to this great community. I think, Palm Beach County and certainly the city of Palm Beach Gardens and our great resort and the fun that people are having. So Tiger brings the person for the first time. And from a business standpoint, if we do what we need to do well, we're going to keep that customer. And I think we've been able to do that.
And one of the interesting statistics we found was, I guess, a Golf Data Tech stat that said that in 2000, there were 2.2 2.4 new golfers entering the golf force, and that was directly related to Tiger. Right. And last year was the highest bump since that at 2.2 million, and Tiger really wasn't playing. So the industry has recovered and moved on from Tiger being the only guy moving the needle.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We've stopped declining in numbers, as you said, and I think golf is in a relatively good position. We've got some great young players coming up. There's a ton of energy out there with the young people. This whole millennial movement. There's 6 million players in golf from the millennial generation, and I think the centennials are starting to demonstrate some interest in the game as well.
What do we call our centennials? Younger than millennials?
They are. They're millennials 18 to 34, centennials under 18.
Wow. I didn't. What are under 10? What are under 10? Do we know?
Fans of Rick Horrow.
Yeah, that's good. There are very no, not 10 people. I'm talking about 10. I'm talking about 10 years old, ladies and gentlemen. So did Pat Perez really say that Tiger is now like Bigfoot, that you don't expect to see him, but when you see him, it's an interesting thing, like the abominable snowman? Did he really say that?
I have not heard that, but I'm knowing Pat Perez, anything's possible.
Right. Not a bad thing, but it is kind of a statement of fact, which is kind of interesting.
But Tiger, again, moves the needle. I mean, he look what he did in December. The ratings were through the roof. I mean, whenever he shows up, your TV ratings are there. People are tuning in. We have a lot of people that continually tell us they come to the Honda Classic not just necessarily to watch golf, but to have a good time. But there are a lot of people that'll tell you if Tiger Woods is playing, they're coming.
Let's talk about the other elephant in the room, which is next week, not you, but there's an advantage of having the only golf tournament in a 5 million person market, yet next week is not Doral anymore, it's Mexico, and you've done a pretty good job of attempting to make this feel like the only golf tournament in South Florida and get some promotion. Net good, net bad for you?
Overall, net good. You hate to see Doral lose an event. I mean, Doral's had golf for over 50 years, and certainly the continuity of the Florida swing makes a lot of sense. It was a great championship venue, and who knows? It might be back in Miami at some point in the future, because I think it's a good market for golf. I really do. But we've been able to pick up over $250,000 worth of sponsorship deals that have come out of Dade County, out of South Florida.
Interesting perspective.
Those are companies that need to spend in golf, and so it's a little bit further drive for their customers, and they're coming up.
Sticky question, interesting to ask Butch Buchholz, who used to run the Doral event after he ran tennis, but the Tour de Mexico was because the entities in Mexico put a lot of money on the table, but part of it also was because there were sponsorship issues at Doral.
I know Mr. Trump, and I know the organization quite well. Cadillac did not leave because of Donald Trump. Cadillac stays with his company today. They still have a great relationship with the Trump organization, but Cadillac left because it was just time in their marketing world to change their direction. I think looking for a new sponsor was probably part of the problem, was trying to find someone that wanted to jump in at that time with things that were...
So perfect storm, end of a sponsorship relationship and some controversy, which you always don't want to have, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, our next guest graduated magna cum laude from University of Washington, so he'll probably criticize me on grammar if we give him a chance to do that, but that's another tease.
Folks, Harvard Law School didn't teach you anything either, so...
No, it didn't. Listen, I went to more Celtic games, as you know, at Harvard Law School than probably any law student in the history of the world. So the other bottom line is what you do for charity. The interesting fit globally is that the tour has been attributed to $2.5 billion of charity money since 1938, and the irony and the synergy is that the first check written for charity from PGA Tour event was 1938 with the Palm Beach International at $10,000. Yeah. So now here you are generating yet more money. Talk about Jack Nicklaus, talk about Barbara Nicklaus, and talk about the hospital and the charity and the dynamics of that.
Well, when we took over the event, obviously bringing in the first family in golf was critical, and Barbara signed up right away. Barbara and Gary are our two co-chairpersons of the board. Jack is very involved in the tournament as well. We donated over $3.2 million to charity last year, and for those people that don't know, the PGA Tour is all about philanthropy. Every event's a 501c3 organization, so at the end of the day, we're measured on a number of different metrics, but the most important one certainly is what we're able to give back to charity.
And last segue, we're all going to miss Arnold Palmer. What we're going to miss about him maybe more than anything is his Women and Children's Hospital. The stat is that hospital caused 200,000 kids to be brought into this world. during the length of that tournament, which is an incredible number. Does that tournament survive and thrive with the bridge hosts they've got today? And what's the Florida swing look like with Arnold no longer with us?
Well, I think the tournament, yes, will survive. I think, to your point, bringing in some of the new hosts is critical. I think forming Arnie's Army Foundation to become the official host of the tournament is also critical, because Arnie's event, like Jack's event, are the only two for-profits on the tour. But Arnie recently switched over to a 501c3, so the host organization now is Arnie's Army Foundation. So I think it will do well, continue to do well. You can't help but think about the Byron Nelson, what happened after Mr. Nelson passed on, and it was a couple years before it, kind of lost a little bit of its luster. But I think the Arnold Palmer brand will be with us forever. Will it change the tournament? Perhaps it will. I think it's going to come down to how they market the event and how they remember Arnie every year, and certainly what they do to give back to that community.
Thanks for your perspective. As we sit here at Facebook Live on Friday afternoon, what is the Kenner Lee and meteorological report through the weekend?
It's good English there. It was good. We're going to have great weather. We're lucky. I mean, last year we had 4 beautiful days in Palm Beach County. We're going to have 4. We've had a beautiful Thursday. It's already a beautiful Friday. We're going to have 2 great weekend days, and it's when you look at us on television around the world and you see how beautiful this place is, there's a reason why so many people are moving here.
And the weather's fantastic. So 80% of the viewers eat your heart out. My friend, great perspective. How's the limb? He used to be a pretty good golfer. His kid, much better than he is as a golfer, but now he used the excuse of only having one limb. Everything okay?
We're hanging in there. All I know is if I keep beating you, it's a good day.
Yeah, but that ain't looking good.
Are you a business owner or an individual who owes the IRS? Then be prepared to write down an important phone number. Do you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes? Do you need to file back tax returns? Are you dealing with bank levies and wage garnishments? It's time to deal with your IRS problem today. Call Certified Tax Representation now. Certified Tax Representation, Inc. represents clients just like you in all 50 states. They will contact the IRS on your behalf the same day that you become a client, and you can become a client immediately. It's time for you to face your IRS problems. Think about how great you're going to feel when you're represented by a company who's an advocate for you, who knows the law, who also will contact the IRS the same day you become a client. Call today for your free, no-obligation consultation. Call now, 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064. Not all cases are typical, and some may not qualify. The consultation is free, and so is the call, so call right now. 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064.
This family is at home, but they won't be answering the door. They know that the pounding on the door is a process server from the court waiting to hand them foreclosure documents. So instead of enjoying the home they worked so hard to afford, they sit hiding in the dark.
Mom, what was that?
But it doesn't have to be this way. This family can save their home, but they must act fast. Call Allied State Foreclosure Solutions at 800-274-7312. If you're being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, missed a payment on your mortgage, been a victim of a predatory loan, or are upside down on your home, it's critical that you call Allied State Foreclosure Solutions now. 800-274-7312. Allied State Foreclosure Solutions has an attorney in your area that will meet and speak with you. You can stop the foreclosure process, lower your monthly mortgage payments, save your home and your credit, but you must act now. Call 800-274-7312. 800-274-7312. Not available in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson.
Tired of calls, levies, and liens from the IRS, or hiring others who don't get the job done? Call Wall & Associates, and you'll never talk to the IRS again. The IRS has a program to eliminate tax debt, and Wall & Associates professionals are trained to maximize its benefits for you. You always speak with a live person with real support and real knowledge. We've helped thousands of taxpayers like you settle their tax debt with the IRS for a fraction of what they owe. We solve tax problems. Call Wall & Associates now now. 800-480-5708. We have the professionals who know how to solve tax problems. If you owe money to the IRS, your tax problems are not going away by themselves, and the passage of time will only make matters worse. Act now, before it's too late. Call Wall & Associates right now to speak to a professional tax relief agent. Call 800-480-5708. That's 800-480-5708. Again, 800-480-5708.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We return to our on-the-ground coverage of the Honda Classic.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now I know we had to suffer through the formalities of the executive, and now we really get to the guy who we want to hear from. Sir? Kenneth, does it go by Kenneth G, or is it Kenneth? Your friends call you G? Which is not what I'm going to call you, clearly, because what would you like me to...
It can be anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kenny G.
Kenny G works. Kenneth works.
Okay.
There's some people that call me Kenneth. Not many, though.
Mr. G?
Sure, whatever. That works.
Mr. G. Master P? I was just trying to think of all of the folks who use their short name. Kenny G and Master P are probably on the opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
It's not good for two white people to be talking like this.
No, it's not at all. It's not.
No.
Clearly. That's okay. But we're going to continue to go on. So, Kenny G, world class, you think of all of the awards and everything that you've done. So, you're sitting there in 1973, and I guess you started the bios talk about Barry White and being part of that world.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a notion that you were going to make a successful world-renowned career doing what you're doing today?
In those days. I mean, we didn't have the internet and computers and stuff, so you couldn't really see what was going on. I just knew that an opportunity presented itself, and I just wanted to become a really good saxophone player. So I kept practicing, got a chance to play with Barry White. Then I realized, wait, I get paid to do this. This is great.
And this was high school still?
High school, yeah.
But then yet you went to University of Washington and you graduated magna cum laude, which we're all serious about. Was it your third and fourth year? It's like, I got to get out and start doing what I really want to do, or I'm going to get the A's?
I was always playing gigs all through college.
What did you major in?
Accounting.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you too can go from accounting to world-class saxophone.
Just practice.
Right, just practice. Yeah, just practice.
No, but I had gigs at nighttime when I was going to college, and I just enjoyed it. But the thing was that, honestly, I'm a good test taker. I'm not as smart as my grades tell me, but I'm a great test taker. So I would get A's on everything. I got A's on everything. I didn't have to study that much, so I got a chance to practice all the time.
As you rake in the millions or billions, do you do your own bookkeeping?
Not anymore. Okay. But I used to.
Did you really?
Absolutely, yeah.
Interesting.
The tax thing got a little too complicated, so I had to get somebody else to do it. But I know how to hire a good Jewish accountant.
So far, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know that we're politically correct. But we talked about blacks and Jewish accountants within 4 minutes of each other.
I know, isn't that wonderful?
We can cut, and if you don't like it, go watch another Facebook across the street, okay? I'm not sure we're going to have golfers.
Should I be on the filter? Should I be filtering?
There's no filter on Facebook Live. That's part of the problem. We're fine. We're very good. No, there's no oops here.
We're going to cut his time down, folks.
Yes, we are. Kenny G for 3 minutes, not 13. So the one handicap, when were you the best as a golfer?
Gosh, probably 5-6 years ago, I was a +1 handicap.
So what happened? Now you're 5. Where'd the 6 strokes go?
Well, what happened was that I was a really good plus at my home course because I know the course. Yeah. So I score well there.
Right.
But every time I go to another course, if I broke 80, now you think a +1, you're going to shoot around par. No. So it didn't carry, so I thought, I've got to get better. So I'm getting better, but my scoring isn't getting better.
Are you more... When you originally did both, were you more nervous performing in front of 20,000 people at Carnegie Hall or whatever the number was, or hitting a Pro-Am drive with hundreds of people either side of you ready to meet their maker if you shanked?
Well, the first time I played the Pro-Am, I was more nervous. But after playing Pro-Ams and hitting a number of really lousy shots, you realize that you're still alive and people still actually like you. You know, you're not going to lose. So I don't get nervous playing golf anymore. In fact, I don't really get nervous playing the sax unless it's something different. Like last night, for example, I played at the Michelob Pavilion here, free concert that Honda puts on.
Yeah, great.
Free, which is great. That's one great thing about the tournament. They put on these things for the community. And Jack and Barbara come and they're sitting in the front row, and I'm looking at Jack, and Jack's staring at me while I'm playing.
Right, but he's in his shorts. He's relaxing.
That actually made it easier for me.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole idea is, and Ken Kennerly just left the room, but he's
done with me.
Ken is done with all of us, apparently. But this is a classic example of a leadership group making this happen. We'll have Joe Steranko, we'll have George Lindley, we'll have the guy from Gosling, and here represents what you need to put on a successful tournament: leadership, PGA Tour, PGA of America, strong board, the whole thing. And the bottom line is, this event is now one of the preeminent events in all the tour. Right?
All the pros that are here are amazing. The great thing is, I thought I had my pass on me, but my pass allows me to go into where all the pros are having dinner and lunch and stuff. So this is the coolest thing here. I get to hang out, and I'm eating, and I'm talking to this one and that. Boo Weeklies. I just saw him a minute ago. Hey, man, how's it going? How are you doing? I'm all done. I'm going to go take a power nap.
Wow.
This is inside information, folks. This is great stuff.
All right, so the best he's got after years of being an all-world saxophonist is Boo Weekley is not taking a power nap. I hope you can come better with that before the end of the interview.
All right, I will.
Okay,
but it just happened, so it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah, clearly. Are the athletes in awe of you more than you're in awe of the athletes? In awe may be the wrong word, but what's your thought?
I think there's a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Last night, one of the young pros there that Honda gave a sponsor's exemption to, Brandon Hagee, a friend of mine, he was sitting in the front row next to the Nicklases, and I could see he had never seen me play before, but we play golf all the time, but he'd never seen me do my thing. So I know that he saw something there that probably reflects what he's striving for, is to be really good at what you do. I'm not saying that I'm the best, but after 50 years of playing sax, you better be good, or you're really in the wrong business.
Well, I'll say that you're the best, and I'll say it with impunity, and there's no problem with it, other than the fact
Can you say it with enthusiasm, though?
He's the best.
Thank you,
ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
And he's got a Guinness Book of World Record, and we were talking about it beforehand. Played in front of the most spectators, that's not it. No. Best golfer, saxophonist, maybe, but that's not it. So E-flat held for 45 minutes and 47 seconds, that's not physically possible.
Yeah,
How did you do it?
It's a breathing technique called circular breathing.
And what, describe it?
It's breathing in your nose, using the air in your cheeks to push air through a saxophone so the tone continues, but you can take a quick breath in your nose and you cycle that and you keep that going.
Did you set out to break the record?
Well, there was no record. I was on the Regis show doing something, and then they asked me, hey, we hear you can hold a note for a long time. So I do this thing. The Guinness people are on the same show talking about different records that had been broken during whatever season. And then back in the green room, the guy goes, hey, why don't you set a record for holding a note? I said, what's the record? He goes, there isn't one. I said, well, I'm sure I'm going to be able to set it then. I thought maybe 10 minutes, because I had never tried to hold it longer than, at a concert, if I hold something for 3 minutes, it feels like an hour. I apologized to the people that came to watch me play. I said, listen, I'm going to hold a note. I don't know how long it's going to be, but please, just do what you're going to do. Buy records or something. Don't just watch me, because it's going to be super boring. And I thought, okay, we'll see. And then the clock's going 10 minutes. I go, I'll go a little longer, 20 minutes. Man, so when I got to 40, I think I'm going an hour. And for whatever reason, at 45 minutes, 47 seconds, some little piece of saliva got on the reed, and the tone went from to and the guy goes, that's it.
That's
and
done.
The guys were there with their meters, and they were going, and I said, can I tape the saxophone down so I don't have to hold it with my fingers? No. Can I play different notes? No. Can I adjust the volume so it's loud and soft? No, it has to. So they got these meters watching me the whole time, and I'm sitting there like this, close my eyes. I was trying to think of other things, and I was watching people around. They're looking at me, and they're going, honey, let's do something else. So anyway, it was pretty cool, though.
If we get a special dispensation for another one of these for, just to be bored out of their mind for 48 minutes, will you try to beat the record?
Absolutely, but I'm going to do it when I have something to promote.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right, that's it.
My next record, I'm going to go an hour. I know I can.
Just for
In
Kennerly?
fact, I might go 2 hours.
For Kennerly, you wouldn't do 47 minutes? 48 minutes?
For Ken, I would. Sure.
Yeah, right.
Maybe we do it down here at the Honda Classic, and we set it down here next year.
Deal. Yes?
Sounds good.
All right, we got the deal. We got the commitment, too. All right, so when you look at your bio, you see Michael Bolton and Smokey Robinson and Sinatra and Aaron Neville, Celine Dion, people who are associated with you in some context. I mean, and so what's your dream foursome? Is it, and my point was, you know everybody in the entertainment industry, you've known the greats. If you had a dream foursome of golf to put together, anybody in the world, who would it be?
Golfers or anybody?
Anybody.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I played with Jack Nicklaus, so he's in.
Yeah.
I played with Arnold Palmer.
But you've seen him in shorts, so he's not really...
No, I mean, some of the mystique is gone when you see somebody in shorts. That's why I don't have shorts on, because my legs are too skinny.
We wouldn't show them.
I'm good. Well, that's good. Why? Because they're too skinny?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So Jack and Arnie are there, and then so that's me. So there's only one left.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know who it could be.
Think about it.
Well, okay, I've always wanted to meet Paul McCartney.
Okay.
I would put Paul McCartney. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, the interesting perspective is then to kind of close on this. You've toured the world, and you have generated significant revenues everywhere but China, probably.
Yeah. Very significant.
You have significant revenues, and you've seen the dollars everywhere in China.
That's right.
And
the interesting thing about China, one of my songs is, it's hard. Have you ever been to China?
Yeah.
Okay. If you haven't been to China, watching folks, there's like what would considered like Happy Birthday here, a song everybody knows and uses. Okay, but my song is not used for birthday, but there's a song I have called Going Home. The song is played in China every day, everywhere. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of millions of people every day hear my song because it's called Going Home, and it's the song they play when it's time for people to go home. So every department store, on the buses, in the squares, when it's about 4:30, bam, they play the song, and people listen to the song and go, time to go home. And it's the biggest, honestly, it's the biggest song of anybody that's not Chinese.
And your royalties must be astronomical.
They are. I can't prove it.
Any lawyers out there, please? Let us know. Any international relations people, please. Any politicians out there, please?
The John Oliver Show did a segment on this, and they took it to China, and they played my song, and they asked this Chinese guy, who is this music? I goes, I don't know. And they showed them this picture of me, and they said, this is the guy that did this music. And the guy says, is he still alive?
Good for you.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply, subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
My joints used to kill me. I'd wake up with stiff knees and a stiff back, and it wouldn't get much better throughout the day. I went to doctors and took almost every supplement you can think of, and nothing seemed to help. Then I found something called Oil Can Joint Lubricant. They use only top-of-the-line, all-natural ingredients, and I know many companies make similar claims, but here's the big difference. Oil Can ingredients are scientifically formulated to work together faster than anything else in the marketplace. That's guaranteed. I take Oil Can every day. My knee pain was gone in just a few days. So if you have knee pain, back pain, and you've tried everything, try Oil Can Joint Lubricant risk-free right now. I'm confident you'll have fewer aches and pains within days, or we will gladly refund your money. Call right now. 800-989-1795. 800-989-1795. 800-989-1795. 800-989-1795.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-0906. 800-296-0906. 800-296-0906. That's 800-296-0906.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We return to our on-the-ground coverage of the Honda Classic.
Joe Sterank has been the guy that's promoted golf for so long with the PGA of America, and one of the things you mentioned about Kenny G and keeping things relevant, the numbers we've found is that, as we said, 6.3 million millennials, the PGA Junior events have increased about 233%, 5 million now women 18 and above playing. It's a number that's a little different. Obviously, from your perspective, how important is diversity to keep the sport relevant?
Well, let's face it, we're right in the early stages of what demographers call the browning of America, where, you've got a more diverse country, people from all walks of life, and the one thing that they find is that golf is the ultimate challenge. So participation rates among Hispanic households are lower than Asian American households, but African Americans play at a smaller rate than Caucasian households. But getting the entire family involved with what's so special about golf. Let's face it, it is a game that you can pick up at age 8 and play until age 80. And the PGA Junior League that you mentioned, that has been part of a real catalyst for 500,000 young people taking up the game just in the last 5 years. So while other participation sports, some of the team sports participation rates are down, especially with boys. Boys seem to be, pulled away by, all sorts of glass, meaning the handheld devices that they're playing games on today. So to be able to get kids back connected with the game of golf, and they get outside in the fresh air, they're walking. It's healthy for the mind and the body, and that appeals to mom. And mom, let's face it, mom's she keeps the shot clock and the wallet in America's household. So she's determining how people are going to spend time and money.
Sienna Gehring, our executive producer extraordinaire, she said she had a rough night last night. The camera is still not shaking, so we're okay, but we're halfway through. Have you ever heard this referred to as glass? The phone's referred to as glass?
Never.
Kenny G, ever in glass? No?
He's such an amazing boss.
What he means, I'll translate. What he means is the phones and the opportunity to do other things, clearly.
I got that from somebody much smarter than I am about technology.
I hope so, which is, it's a limbo. It's a very small limbo bar, ladies and gentlemen. Me too. I know the same kind of thing. I'll have my daughter try to figure out how to use believe
me, your Facebook Live audience, they understand this
they do, clearly.
So
or they wouldn't be watching. Now, I understand. Go with the flow.
Yeah.
The glass, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. 37.5 million people interested in golf, according to the NGF. That's in the U.S. That is understated. But how do you build on that?
Yeah, well, what you do is you see the Honda Classic is a primary example where this is an event with players from dozens of countries. It's televised to almost 1 billion households in 100 countries around the world. So it attracts, not just the greatest players from Palm Beach County, which is the golf capital of the world, or, the state of Florida with, 1,200 golf courses making it almost one of the biggest golf countries of the world. But literally people from around the globe who come play on the PGA Tour. But the fans, what do the fans talk about? They'll talk about the dark and stormy bear trap that Gosling sponsors, or the new, millennial programmed Michelob Ultra Lounge.
And that guy's annual concert, Kenny G's annual concert.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's
better every year.
Let's face it.
Thanks.
People are busier than they've ever been. So you can create a lot of things, but you can't create any more time. So we have to give people a reason to say, I'm going to give you 4 hours of my time to come out on an afternoon or an afternoon leading into an evening, and we're going to give them great, legitimate sports competition, but we're going to entertain the heck out of them while they're here as well. And
so from a television perspective, keep your hat on as the former PGA America guy, but also the chairman of the Honda Classic Board of Directors, so he wears two hats on this one. 22% increase in television ratings last year. We don't know early this year, not relevant, but there is a trend upward. And the more important number really is the digital piece. The players, according to the tour, about 40 million followers of the players on social media, and the number we've got is about 450 million identified unique visits. So I guess what we're trying to say is the platforms are now branching into the next millennium, and we have more sophisticated ways to watch the tour.
Absolutely. And the transition of your content about the business of sport to social media shows that you've embraced the keyword that came out at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas this year. In terms of media companies, everyone has to be, are you ready for this?
No.
Omni-channel.
That's decouching was two words. Decording, no cording, omni-channel? All right, you got to describe it. Describe it.
So, the traditional media companies are linear, that's your network television, and then you go to cable, satellite, their web business, but social media is becoming a bigger part of it, as is evidenced by this show. So think about what the PGA Tour and the LPGA are enjoying right now. We have an attractive, exciting, interesting, multi-faceted group of millennials that are playing our sport at the highest level. So whether it's Ricky or Jordan or Justin, Jason, got a lot of J's.
J's, yeah.
But and on the LPGA to get Lexi and Michelle and Lydia Ko from New Zealand, so you have this global group they grew up with social media, so they're very comfortable with that medium, and they give us as fans a peek inside their lives. What are they eating? What are they wearing? What music do they like? What's their workout routine? And that bodes really well for the future of golf. And so, yes, it does feed an increase in linear television viewership, but more importantly, it connects people with content on every piece of glass that they use.
Every piece of glass. And by the way, here's another piece which is very important, not just glass, but it's all about health. And we dug this out of the archives. The National Golf Foundation's report on why you should play, and I'm quoting, older golfers tend to have better static and dynamic balance control and confidence than non-golfing older healthy adults, which is a very important perspective, as Kenny G now demonstrates from the older golfer and the saxophone perspective. He's now, by the way, the reason he's not talking is he's on minute 23 of holding his breath. We still got about, it's a telethon. It's a Kenny G telethon, ladies and gentlemen. And more important, regardless of handicap, sex, or course played, golfers exceed 10,000 steps during a typical round of golf, exceeding the guideline for exercise recommended by most medical and clinical physicians. So two things. Number one is, as you get older, you want to play golf. And number two is, my phone hadn't been ringing. Why haven't you invited me to play recently?
Yeah, well, I've been waiting for the results of this new University of Edinburgh study.
Okay.
That is actually co-commissioned by the World Golf Foundation, and we have a number of top athletes from the men's and the women's tour that are going to be our health ambassadors to tell that story. You're right. There was a study in Sweden that showed that golfers live 5 years longer than people who don't play the game. And yes, let's face it, those boomers, we're going to that time in our life. We want to preserve the quality of our life. We want to stay active and involved. And golf not only provides that activity, but the balance that you use when you're swinging a club helps you in everyday life and enjoy life a lot more.
And drink lots of rum. I guess that comes at the end of this. We're holding Gosling rum, by the way. We are going to talk about that perspective and Barbados and all of those amazing things that happen when you're eighth generation. But that's another story for at the end of this, sir. So when are we playing?
As soon as this championship is over. So Monday morning.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, deal.
I'll see you.
We got it. All right, man. Thank you very much, Joe Steranka. George Lindley, step into my office.
All right.
Thank you.
Good job.
So we got an interesting perspective here. George is the head of the. Are you leaving?
I am.
Are we?
I have to go pack.
Well, are you leaving for good?
Literally leaving for good. Yeah.
That was wonderful. Thank you, my friend.
Hey,
I'll speak with you soon.
Great job. I'm going to go drink some rum right now.
Yeah, that's that guy right there. But that's okay. He'll continue to do that.
They say you're not supposed to drink and drive, but can I drink and drive?
Yes. Do the same thing. That's right.
All right.
That's the bottom line.
You can't pay for that. You can't teach that right there.
I will send you this link. You were amazing, and thank you for helping golf, and thank you for having fun.
It was my pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Ken, maybe now you get another couple of free concerts out of Kenny G long term. It's part of that deal. Yeah, I've got the 20-year commitment on tape. George is the person who really speaks about sports and economic development from Palm Beach County. The chairman?
I'm the executive director.
Executive director of Palm Beach County Sports Commission. I called it the Sports Authority earlier and was chastised because there are some legal issues involved in that.
We were called that at one point, a long time ago.
And Sports Authority came into town, and
that
you
is
got
correct.
scared.
You know the history of all sports.
Well, yeah, and I remember being the head of the Miami Sports Authority. We had some of the same issues. So talk a little bit about the business of golf, understanding that SRI did a study talking about the $8.2 billion golf industry. When you look at that, it's almost as much as tourism, almost as much as hotels, more than the recording industry. So put some meat on that.
First of all, Rick, being a sports business professional, I'm honored to be sitting here next to you as a legend of sports business and sports journalism. So,
all right, what do you want?
So I'm honored to be here at the Honda Classic, Palm Beach County's marquee sporting event, talking with you. But there's no doubt about it that golf is a big part of Palm Beach County's identity. Sports in general is a big part of our identity, and then golf plays the dominant role when you think about how many PGA Tour professionals lived and have now called Palm Beach County their permanent home, and the influx of recreational travelers that are coming here just to enjoy the game of golf. And then when you look at it from an event perspective, being able to kick off the Florida Swing with the Honda Classic, there's no doubt about it that golf is a huge economic driver for Palm Beach County, and it's a big part of this county's overall tourism successes.
What happens with the Doral next week, and Ken's perspective that you've had a significant increase in sponsorship by focusing on this event as South Florida's golf event? How does it impact you guys directly?
I remember calling and talking with Ken shortly after that became public, and I view it similar to what Ken says. I think it's an opportunity for this county. We have one of the premier PGA Tour events in the Palm Beaches at the Honda Classic, and now having really a monopoly in terms of South Florida professional golf there, I think if it's a chance to bring more visitors to our county to see an increase in tourism, because if you're wanting to experience professional golf and you're in our region, the Honda Classic is now your only option. So I'm hoping over time that we see the attendance number rise, we see an increase in out-of-county visitors, hopefully out-of-state visitors, and that's going to mean even greater economic impact and a greater tourism impact that's created by the Honda Classic.
Being in the industry for a number of years, you get a sense that everybody kind of checks the box about economic impact studies, then moves on. And a lot of people, when they read the paragraph in the Wall Street Journal or Palm Beach Post, they glaze over because a number doesn't really mean anything. But when you talk about awareness and mentions, if you were to buy on an ad rate card number the mentions of the sunny Palm Beach Gardens and Palm Beach, you couldn't put a number on it.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies? But you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738. Are you a business owner or an individual who owes the IRS? Then be prepared to write down an important phone number. Do you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes? Do you need to file back tax returns? Are you dealing with bank levies and wage garnishments? It's time to deal with your IRS problem today. Call Certified Tax Representation now. Certified Tax Representation, Inc. represents clients just like you in all 50 states. They will contact the IRS on your behalf the same day that you become a client, and you can become a client immediately. It's time for you to face your IRS problems. Think about how great you're going to feel when you're represented by a company who's an advocate for you, who knows the law, who also will contact the IRS the same day you become a client. Call today for your free, no-obligation consultation. Call now, 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064. Not all cases are typical, and some may not qualify. The consultation is free, and so is the call, so call right now. 1-800-999-1064. That's 1-800-999-1064.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We return to our on-the-ground coverage of the Honda Classic.
So, before we finish, we are going to have our executive producer, Sienna Goring, who I've said before, take a little bit of a pen around here. I'm sorry to have you do this. You've been stable so far. Take a look at the pen. So this is PGA National. This is the resort. It is completely full, as you would expect. A lot of the players' wives, players' families here. You see the golf course kind of off in the distance, and obviously people have a perspective about this which allows you to be harmonious with the facility, the event. Notice the blue skies and notice how we're dealing with the entire weather and what's happening here. So, in conclusion, let me just give you some perspective. The golf industry, U.S. golf industry, $62, $63 billion. People are talking about even more. The mentions, if you paid for those mentions, you couldn't do it. As it relates to Florida, talking talking about $11 to $13 billion of economic impact, but it depends on stability. The Florida swing starts, but it's only 3/4 of its full existence. Why? Because whether it's Trump or whether it's Doral or whether it's Mexico, there is no Florida event after the Honda, before Tampa, and before Orlando. We've heard about it. There are some risks. Ken Kennerly continues to stabilize. 200,000 people last year and a $53 million economic impact. Next week, everybody goes to Mexico. The week after, it's Tampa. And the week after, it is the Honda Classic, the Bay Hill event, with the family of Arnold Palmer and Sam Saunders, his grandkid, in the field, but a bridge of Annika Sorenstam and Graham McDowell and others who are hosting until there's something else that can be done with that event. Not that it's in any trouble, but it's just another circumstance and another difficulty. Florida and golf will be here to stay, as we've heard from everybody, but the whole idea of the charitable functions of this, as well as the stability of attendance and the economics and key sponsors, golf and Florida, really significant. For an international audience, you got to come down here and see it. This is a tremendous event, but also the industry in really good hands because of the people in this room. I'm Rick Horrow. Speak with you next.